special event sponsored by Manchester Oil Heat. A very impressive evening competition there. The Stafford Motor Speedway is located on Route 140 in Stafford Springs, Connecticut, and is the half-mile facility that also featured the Budweiser Showdown of Champions, the special event that you've just witnessed here on Raceweek. For the first feature event of the evening's competition in the Manchester Oil Heat race, it was some highly impressive superstock competition at the half-mile race facility. Off the turn, as typical in our street stocks, now called the superstocks at Stafford, the action was fast and furious. They were running literally 3 and 4 wide at times, but the two cars to keep your eyes on was the black and red number 66 of Cliff Stakey and the number 2 automobile for defending track champion John Zarodny. Stakey pulled out in front. He got the break first as he was already starting to develop an impressive lead, but there was another battle going on in midfield competition. Scott Poirier's number 21 tangles with the number 26 of Shawanski as Jim Ward, the crafty veteran, tries to hold on as Shawanski shears off a right rear tire. On the restart, Cliff Stakey shows that he has the ability to get the jump there. Car number 66 moves out in front. They come 3 wide off turn number 4, but Havoc breaks loose once again. Kevin Fortier's car number 10 makes contact with Poirier's number 21, but Poirier skillfully brings it back, but loses about 10 positions on the racetrack. Down the back straightaway, we've got the change for the lead occurring, and it's John Zarodny, the Connecticut Data Systems number 2, out in front, and Cliff Stakey will try everything to get around during the closing laps of competition. It's an impressive battle, and while that's happening up front, there's another battle going on just as impressively as Jimmy Ward has broken through with Norm Plantier, Jim Mavlajanis, and the number 38 of Tony Sylvester also trying to move into contention. Down the back straightaway they had. Battle is on for second. Zarodny is pretty much unchallenged. Here comes veteran driver Jimmy Ward. Remember, he's in search of 50 career wins in the street stock division before the 1985 season becomes history. Ward gets out of shape. He tags the number 66. That sets him out of the groove, and that'll move Jim Mavlajanis and the number 38 of Tony Sylvester into contend for those top 3 positions. Off the 4th turn, could be for the final time. Checkered flag is waving. John Zarodny, the track champion, secures the victory. In for second in the competition at the Stafford Motor Speedway for the Superstock division was Cliff Stakey. 3rd spot will go to Jim Mavlajanis, driving car number 01. At Stafford, there are 3 impressive divisions of competition. The SK Modified division is an open-wheel division that always proves to be exciting. For the competition there, the action was just as exciting. SK Modified saw a different feature event winner securing the victory. Here at the Stafford Motor Speedway in the opening laps of competition, Wendell Kilcollins Jr. looked very, very impressive with car number 84 in search of his first win in open-wheel competition. While he was out in front, some of the veterans were working their way skillfully to the front, including Jerry Pearl, defending track champion with car number 33, John Anderson with the number 89 automobile, the 6 machine of Ricky Fuller, and the X6 of Reggie Ruggiero. Ruggiero was coming through traffic impressively, using the inside groove to his advantage. Kilcollins was out in front and looking very strong, and so wasn't Mike Christopher. Good racing here in the top 5 positions when Havoc broke loose. In turn number 1, as sparks began to fly, it was car number 13 for Teddy Christopher up on top of its roost, debris all over the racetrack, bringing out a red flag situation. Kenny Bouchard also spun to avoid the situation, but Christopher's car set in the 1st turn. As safety crews go to the assistance of Christopher, he was taken to the hospital but proved to be okay later. Green flag comes back out for the competition. Wendell Kilcollins Jr., Mike Christopher, twin brother of Teddy Christopher, who just went for the wild ride, were making up the front row, with veteran drivers Jerry Pearl and Reggie Ruggiero in row number 2. Ricky Fuller puts a bid to try to get around Ruggiero, but cannot quite complete the move. Ruggiero uses the outside lane this time to his advantage, and we've got another leader in this SK Modified feature event. This time it's Reggie Ruggiero. Pearl breaks loose. He moves into 2nd. John Anderson comes out of nowhere with several feature event wins to his credit to take over the number 3 position as the number 79 of Kerry Malone also works its way into contend for those top 5 positions. Ruggiero was pressured lap after lap. Anderson just didn't give him any breathing time. Jerry Pearl was also in the hunt on the outside lane. He gets out of shape just a bit, and that'll put Kerry Malone into the number 3 spot. Malone is still pressured by by pearl as they work their way through the turns, but the final circuit comes right down through the checker with the top three automobiles battling consistently, trying everything in the book as John Anderson and Kerry Malone to get by Reggie Ruggiero. Ruggiero in search of his first feature win for the Beal X6 race team, and he does that so impressively. Into the number 2 spot for the competition there, it was John Anderson, and Kerry Malone finished in the 3rd position. The main division at the Stafford Motor Speedway is always the NASCAR Winston Modifieds. And at Stafford, the competition was more than just impressive, as the infield pits set up for 100 laps of competition in the Manchester Oil Heat Cam 2 Race of Champions special event at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Green flag came back out. Mark Fleury out of Nassau, New York, set some blistering pace in the opening laps of competition. Good racing happening up front, but the heavy hitters are trying to work their way to the front. Keep your eyes on car number 28, George Brunholzl, and the number 5 automobile for Charlie Jazombek. The 2 Long Island veterans were the 2 cars to contend with as they quickly worked their way to the front and contend. Brian Ross had a mechanical problem with car number 73 and pitted early in the event, came back to challenge, but really wasn't a threat in the Manchester Oil Heat Cam 2 100. Jeff Fuller also ran strong in the early goings of the competition before he too met with mechanical problems and failures. Todd Bodine, car number 51, hit the wall extremely hard between turns 3 and 4. Also involved in the skirmish was Dan Avery, car number 10, his first appearance with that automobile. Ricky Fuller on the outside of Mark Fleury out of Nassau, New York, to set the pace as the restart came out with sparks flying. Fleury showed it was no fluke that he was the man to lead the opening laps of competition. But keep your eyes on the Long Island Shuffle, car number 5 for Charlie Jazombek and George Brunholzl's number 28 machine. They work their way in hot pursuit for the number 1 spot as Jamie the Jet Tomeno also hitches up with that 3-car draft. Fleury tries to keep it nice and low with his most impressive run ever at the Stafford Motor Speedway. He looked extremely strong for the competition there. But Jazombek, in just a few circuits, pulled out in front and already started to pull away. Brunholzl did not give him any time whatsoever. As the battle continued, Brian Ross was also running up front, but we remind you, he had his share of problems. As we said, mechanical woes forced Ross out of competition. Jeff Fuller also met with misfortune. We mentioned that earlier, with car number 2X doing severe damage to the Tuck Hoffman prepared machine. Corky Cookman out of Green Farms, Connecticut, was skillfully working his way to contend. He will work his way into the 3rd spot behind Magic Shoes Mike McLaughlin. Checkered flag is waving, and of course, Charlie Jazombek in to secure the victory there. It was another great win for Charlie Jazombek with car number 5. Brunholzl finished in the number 2 spot, and Corky Cookman out of Green Farms, Connecticut, finished in an impressive 3rd. As we mentioned, great competition always on hand at the Stafford Motor Speedway for Friday night racing action. We'll be back with more coverage from the Riverside Park Speedway right after this.
Enter the world of Alpine mobile electronics. Car audio systems, mobile cellular telephones, mobile security systems, sophisticated electronics, precision installation.
Alpine, nice touch.
Lamborghini has the Alpine touch.
Shocking, sizzling, downright smashing. How else can you describe HBO's Hot August lineup? Gene Wilder's After the Woman in Red. Ramirez battles Macho Camacho on World Championship Boxing. Hall & Oates jamming on stage at the Liberty Concert. So who's your summer choice for quality entertainment? HBO and Continental Cablevision.
A quality show.
At the Riverside Park Speedway for quarter-mile competition each and every Saturday evening, the fans are in for a real treat with 3 divisions of competition also at the Riverside Park Speedway, featuring the NASCAR Winston Modifieds, the Pro Stock Division, and of course, the Street Stock Division. This week at the Riverside Park Speedway, there was an extra bonus. In the afternoon, the New England Antique Racers Association came with a special program there. The evening's competition was dedicated by the New England Antique Racers Association in memory of Bob Stefanik, Joe Zarnicki, and some of the greats at the Riverside Park Speedway. Before we bring you some of the excitement there, we'll bring you the competition in our Street Stock feature event at Riverside Park on Saturday evening. 3 wide, it's almost impossible, but at Riverside it sometimes happens. Joe Hems gets out of